Diane. Please share.
Hello, how are you? Nice
Good.
to see everyone. I was having a
Nice
little
to see
problem
you
with
too.
Eventbrite, but I'm here. I have two quick pieces. One is mine, one is someone else. I like to introduce you to other poets, someone you know, maybe, I don't know, but she has a new book out. It's called, her title of her book is Poetry is a Love Language. But first, let me tell you something. I'll put the information in the chat. Her name is the poet Rose Gold. Written in the sky. Mine eyes have seen the passing of another sunset, giving way to successor's twilight and its celestial pearls. I see you, Dad. You're a star now, illuminating the road to forever. Show me the way to Alpha and Omega. This world is lonely. Daddy's little girl is merely a big baby without her right arm. No one to curse our valiant boys in blue and orange. They traded Chris Childs the other day. There is no balance in my constitution, as a fraction of my spirit left all time and space cradled in the bosoms of cherubs. Emerald eyes saw Stevie's inner visions, amaretto hued, easy like Sunday morning. Danced with the rubber band man, sallied forth through earth, wind, and fire, floor shine shoed, creased, cuff linked, labored until edge of night under the cloak of nocturnals. No need to look beyond the horizon to find you. Here is your success story. You didn't make it to the mountaintop, but through me you'll reach the apex. So it is written. In memory of Joseph Yancey, which is Poet Rose Gold's dad. The name of her book is Poetry is a Love Language. But first, let me tell you something. I'll put her information in the chat. And then what I want to share with you very quickly is from my book, Two Braids and a Bang, which is available on Amazon. I wrote this years ago, but it's still appropriate today. Title is Good to Go. Got my armor on. I'm going out and need to make sure I have my emergency funds available when I'm ready to leave this rally for the next one later tonight. I'm listening to their conversation, but I'm beyond this argument. Our next steps, where are we going from here? Who has new ideas, strategies? I need fresh air, fresh perspectives. Next rally, new spots, new neighborhoods, different outlook, all comes down to strategies, my people. We will always look good when we fight in case the newspapers and photographers arrive. My voice will be supported by these clear-spoken lips, slick, neatly and attractively dressed sister. Yes, right here, me, ready to be interviewed on the spot with my take, ideas, visions, hopes, fears, misgivings, and mostly my solutions because I'm ready. I'm presentable for TV. I'm poised for radio. I'm non-threatening appearing. Well, bring it. You don't know me yet. And that was my aphractic response to Dr. Doris Derby's photography, The Irwin Family Farm, Mississippi, 1969. Thank you so much.
Thank you. As always, I enjoy your work. Next to the mic, poet Nawaz. Are you ready?
Maybe unmute the mic. Hello.
Hi, you're
Oh,
next, baby.
all right. In honor of Black History Month, I'd like to read a poem, Strong Black Man, and this is by Eric Washington. Okay, let me see if I could find it. Okay, here we go. A strong black man. I treat people with respect. Went to college as was planned, for I was always brought up to be a strong black man. You may lie or you may jail me, try to shoot me where I stand, but I will always rise up as a strong black man. You may deny me my promotion or try to chop away my hand, but I will always stand up as a strong black man. In wartime, while others flee, I will fight hand to hand, for I will always stand up as a strong black man. On the tombstone, as it reads bravery, with the words as it stand, that he had always stood up as a strong black man. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Um, John,
Yeah. Do you think we should go to our
I
first
think
feature?
we have two more people on our open a mic list. I
Okay.
was thinking about Sonia, and then I guess we go into our first
I'd rather read
feature.
after the first feature.
Okay, we'll just go to our first
Okay,
feature.
so the next would be Frida. Are you ready?
I'm not ready, and I think I put the request in after the feature, maybe after two features.
Okay,
I want
no
the
problem.
features to be featured.
Okay. All right.
I'm looking forward.
So we'll just go to the first feature and then we'll just pick up after that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Um, so the first feature today has read with Creative Expressions before. She's a wonderful poet. She is a meditation teacher, um, and a community activist. Her name is Jill Lanier. She is a resident of the Bronx and a certified mindfulness and meditation instructor. She is founder of Mindful Renaissance and creator of the Mindful Framework System for helping others discover effective strategies for overcoming the stress associated with the complexities and hectic pace of modern life. Jill has recently published in the September 2025 issue of Deep Times, a journal of the work that reconnects. Through her weekly Mindful Renaissance newsletter, Jill writes regularly about how she incorporates mindful meditative practices into her everyday routine as a woman of color in a place like NYC, while also teaching others how to do so as well. She is the author of Permy Peaks photo blog, where she focuses on cultivating mindful awareness and appreciation for nature's tenacity in the face of a seemingly harsh urban environment. Jill holds a BA in psychology, with graduate degrees in library science and systems. I actually subscribe to Jill's newsletter. It is an amazing newsletter if you'd like to check it out. If you'd like to leave a link for that, Jill, in the chat. So please, everybody, welcome Jill Lanier.
Good evening, everybody. I am so happy to be here. Thank you, Creative Expressions, for inviting me back. The first poem I would like to read is How I Got Here. It's called Arrival. Born at Booth Memorial Hospital in Queens, arriving on a March morning, one infant among many, in a transparent plastic bassinet. Swaddled against the nursery's probable chill in a soft white blanket, tiny tender fingers resting lightly on its satiny edge. A black and white photo documents my arrival. Bright-eyed and bushy-headed under an apexed mound of curly brown hair. Even then inclined to question, staring calmly but directly into the camera as if to say, someone's got some explaining to do. And so hearing how and when I entered, let me reintroduce myself. This next poem is called My Name Is. My name is Flushing born, but Bronx formed, future citizen of the Big Apple. My name is March and morning and Monday, arbitrarily mixing me into man-made rhythms of time. My name is ferocious female ram, fire sign of the zodiac, ready to rough it up with anyone, anytime. My name is a happy hybrid of contradictions, my creators having decided in their infinite wisdom to combine the artistic with the logical in one small, sassy, brown package. My name is Regenerative Future Dreamer, where contradictions like these are not only welcomed, but peacefully and joyfully coexist. Okay, so now, flashing forward to this present, got to talk about the elephant in the room. And these next few poems reflect this current backdrop and some of the impacts they are probably having on all of us in their various ways. This next poem is called The Rising King. Fire, fire, this world's on fire. Take a look. Yeah, take a look. Yeah. The self-coronated king awakens and ascends his throne, hair a wispy pale flame, smoldering atop a flaccid face with vacant, callous, uncaring eyes. All the king's men march in synchronized lockstep to the hot drumbeat of hatred and lies with icy, crystalline precision. Do they not fear for their souls or the soles of their feet as they tread across the glowing hot coals of his trumpeting rhetoric? Brassy, bright, and harsh, the flames are breathtaking. The media's fiery airwaves Heat the king's men like kernels in a cast iron skillet, popping into violence and threats across the land and against the populace. A red-hot zombie wave, yelling triumphantly, "This time we stopped the steal!" Yet still they tightly grip their pointed steel, the glowing tips piercing through democracy like butter. 100-degree Fahrenheit droplets sizzling to the ground before fizzling out. But not to worry, there's plenty more where that came from. Even winter's chill is no match for the fiery fury of the king. Fire, fire, this world's on fire. Take a look. Yeah, take a look. Yeah. Whew. Thank you. And so this next poem sort of considers that and thinking it should be easier. It's called Surely It Should Be Easier. Shouldn't there be something that can be done to stem the spreading ink stain of darkness and malaise? Surely this cannot be sustained, but instead can be pierced by we the people, forcing the darkness to implode and topple over. Shouldn't there be a way to silence the lies wedged into every conceivable second of every day, forced down our eyes and ears like poisoned pieces of pie? Surely this daily diet of deceit and dishonesty will relegate the voices advocating for justice and democracy into eternal silence and slumber. Shouldn't there be more that I can do, should be doing? If there is, I surely can't figure it out, and my mind has shut like a steel trap. But surely I can coax it open for even a moment. It's an emergency, I cry, rattling the bars of this wretched trap. But my mind remains unmoved, and those bars don't budge one bit. At least not based on my degular say-so. Instead, my mind calmly states, shoulds have no power here. And looking down, I see my shoulds scattered on the floor, mocking me, lifeless as yellowed fall leaves, inert and crunchy underfoot. I am left to meet what is, as it is, however I can. Still, I hold out hope, pleading with my mind through the bars, insisting that this shouldn't be so hard, that it should be easier. But my mind whispers, already distant, on to the next thing. It is what it is, and I'm leaving you to figure it out. Okay. And these next two poems are about the kind of careless that has sort of bled into society and only been exacerbated by the elephant in the room. This next one is called Earth Ship Body. My Earth ship body sails the subway's concrete canals, a landscape populated daily by the crush of a million others. Amidst the depths, some Earthship bodies mumble or shout monologues, meaningful only to themselves. One moment soft, almost sane, the next erupting into a storm of loud, angry rants. Perhaps the incandescence of their inner light was just too strong, burning out the synapses of their fragile Earthship bodies, now left to flail helplessly, no longer quite seamlessly synced. Navigating past them in my own, all too fragile Earthship body, they seem strange and sinister. Will I eventually become similarly unmoored, inner light leaking through cracks forged by the pressures of living? Just one more carelessly spilled beverage left to seep across the pavement, sticky and unpleasant underfoot, to be avoided at all costs. Thank you. And then this next one demonstrates that these indignities are not solely for the living, that it just permeates just everything. This next poem is called An Absence of Care. Having entered a department store at the mall, not for any particular reason, mind you, I listlessly circled its utterly ubiquitous squared floor plan, finally coming to a stop in the children's clothing section. My attention was drawn by two mannequins modeling utterly unremarkable outfits. One was missing a hand, which probably could have been reattached, but no one had bothered. She wore a pink terry cloth sundress, slightly askew. Now, don't you worry, she was properly covered, but whomever had dressed her hadn't bothered to pull the dress down so that it settled evenly over her small frame. And she probably would have struggled to adjust it herself, what with her missing a hand and everything. On further inspection, her other hand, while intact, was peeling, almost as if sunburned by the store's harsh neon lights, revealing a translucent, almost alien-like material underneath. It looked pliant like rubber, but when poked, proved hard and unyielding. I wonder what she thought of these indignities. But then again, what difference did it make? Could it possibly have made to her? She was just a mannequin after all. And if she thought anything, I couldn't tell. She had no face. There she stood, both exposed and forlorn, inanimate, but somehow still bereft of dignity, a poor approximation of humanity, carelessly displayed under the harsh glare of consumerism, reflecting back a casual absence of care. Thank you. Now, we're going to shift gears a little bit because I want to give some hopeful notes about the future, but not only the future, but right now, what there is to take advantage of and enjoy right now. At these next two poems, I want to shout out to my La Finca, ladies and gents. You know who you are. This first one is called Heard in the Garden. City sounds radiate over and through the garden, cars passing, trains rumbling. The press of urban sound is so aggressive, I can barely hear the caress of life held within the soft whispers of growing things. Their willing exchange of exhaled carbon alchemized into oxygen. Their life cycle a gift of food that feeds us, as well as the soil we're both rooted in and walk upon. Our feet rejoice in hearing its dark crumbliness between their toes. And this next one is also set in the garden. It's called La Finca Secrets. Wedged in between rumbling road and rail, surrounded by outer city sounds, newly constructed luxury apartment buildings reach towards the sky. Inorganic growth of concrete and metal and glass. But within the unyielding embrace of metal and stone, a different kind of growth is guarded. Of quiet green growing things, fragrant things, edible things, waxy collards, frothy palms, jaunty peppers. Their hybrid wildness boxed inside strict rectangular beds and overarching semicircular hoops of white, bordered by crumbly gray, gravelly paths that chuckle underfoot. A curious breeze floating by above invites these growing things to dance and share their secrets under sun and sky. A group gathered under the casita write and read in its shade. Bees hover, dart in and out, wondering who these strange invaders can be. Buzzing amongst themselves, they seem harmless enough. Let us get back to our more important busy bee business of visiting the flowers and green growing things, the twining, interloping morning glories, for afternoon assignations and sips of nectar, and pollen sticking and tickling our legs. And off they go, flitting cheerfully between the garden's sun and shadows.
Bravo.
This next poem, thank you, is called Fourth Season Sessions and is the one that just recently got published in Deeper Times Journal. And it's about community. And this is, again, one of the things we can lean into during this time of such unpleasantness. Fourth Season Sessions. Noon on Tuesdays, bathed in the Renaissance light of afternoon that has settled gently upon the room, now that the morning sun has passed overhead, you gather in community with your weekly meditation group, exchanging fourth season shares, cultivating care and concern for one another, grateful to discover that despite outward appearance and circumstance, you share life struggles that are similar, if not exactly the same. And there is comfort in that, as together you hold and give voice to what is uncomfortable. And there is humility in the realization that you are not alone.
Bravo.
Thank you. And I'm going to end with just a fanciful look into the future of what's possible if we open our hearts and our spirits. It's called In the Currents of the Night Sky. I swim in the currents of the night sky, wavelets lapping gently against a shore too distant for my human eyes to see. Yet I hear them like a blanket billowing in solar winds. Swimming in the currents of the night sky, I float on my back, gazing at the pinpricks of starlight, as if scooped into a martini glass whose sides are too distant for me to touch with my human hands. Meteors clink faintly like ice cubes, due perhaps to the shake of a larger unseen hand in the vast darkness. Swimming in the currents of the deep darkness of the night sky, I am wrapped within love's low background hum, emerging from the depths of space, the sound flowing like a ribbon woven into the heavens, accented by the distant staccato crackling of the sun's fiery warmth heating those currents in which I blissfully bathe. Thank you.
Bravo. Do we unmute to clap? I unmuted to clap. Bravo.
Thank
That
you,
was
Jill.
amazing, Jill. Thank you so much. For those of you who don't know, we Jill and I both belong to a group started by Frida, who's also here, called the La Finca del Sur Garden Writing Workshop. And maybe Frida will say something about that when she um, is up to read. But it's a wonderful, magical place, right in the middle of the
Yeah.
hustle of New York City.
Hello.
Thank you, Jill. That was amazing, as always.
Yes.
So I guess we're going to go back to our open mic.
Okay.
Okay.
This.
John, can you hear me, John?
Yes.
Yeah, I appreciate being invited to share this wonderful experience. And I want to give a shout out to my daughter, Jill. I couldn't be more proud.
Yeah.
Yes, indeedy.
Yeah, that's Jill's mom, where it all started.
He looks like you.
Do we?
Yes. Does she act like you?
She's much smarter.
Thank
So,
you, Liz.
yes. So we're back to the open mic, and I have no idea what's going on with my camera. I know I push the button. I'm like Heather. No clue with the tech. And my grandsons refuse to help me anymore.
What is the problem with your camera?
I have no idea, girl.
I mean, do you not see everybody?
I can see y'all, but it has me camera off.
It has your camera off. Go to the bottom of the screen and there is a mute and there's stop video. Make sure that your stop video is not clicked. Do you see, like if on the left-hand side where it says Zoom Workplace, scroll right down and there'll be a mic that says mute and then there'll be a camera that says stop video.
Yeah, does the videos have a red line through it?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yes, we're talking
Then
to you.
click.
There is no red line through it.
There's
Oh,
no
okay.
red
That's
line.
what I don't understand. I'm not going to mess with it. Y'all can
Okay.
hear me, right?
We can hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
What, Marilyn, that's happened to me.
Hold on. We're back to the open mic. And
Okay.
who's next is Frida. Now you can talk.
Okay. So there's two things I'm going to do. One is that what Marilyn has experienced, I have, and sometimes you could go to gallery view. It's like you got to search for it, but each each laptop is different. So my laptop might be different from yours. But if you can find the gallery view, you'll be able to see everybody. Okay. All right. The second thing I'm going to say before I share is that writing at La Finca is a cousin to Creative Expressions, but we take turns and we generate writing prompts, and we log on, we talk about things, then we have our writing prompts, and then we share. So it's more generative. And I'm going to let you know that on February 24th, I think that's the Tuesday, I'll double check. If you're interested, you can go to my email. I'll put my email in the chat. The topic is Raíces, Afro-Latin roots. We're going to be looking at 3 Afro-Latin poets before the Nuyorican wave that happened here in New York City. And so we're going to have a great time because I'm going to find some wonderful Spanish speakers to also read it in Spanish so you can hear the music. It's going to be great. Okay, so I'll put my email in the chat and you can reach out to me. All right. Moving on, I'm going to share from my book that I published in 2016. I can't even believe so much time has passed. It's called Music Masquerades as Honey. I don't know whether this will show up, but it's so beautiful. The cover is so beautiful. And I'm going to read from these stories. Basically, I had in mind for them to be poetic monologues. And this one, I definitely said in Linux Coffee. But since not everybody was there, I'm going to read it again. And it's called A Search for Mittens. My father had a business in Harlem on 145th Street and 8th Avenue. And when I was young, I did not grow up in Harlem, but I played a lot in front of his business. And anyway, Harlem was on my mind when I wrote these poems. It's The Search for Mittens. Midday March winds, barren streets. It's a bleak, beer-stained day. We're streaking down Harlem boulevards like black swollen tongues. Carl's with me, drinking Old English 800. We're looking for Minton's Playhouse, if it still stands. He said the cats tore it down, but I'm on the edge of my seat, like the music is still happening. Bird flies off on notes like blue jays. Max strums, hums, catches up, overtakes. The bass player mumbles while the piano stains our mind. The speed, the tunes. There's no room to move. Feeling warm navy blue while bodies hug flush and men game on the ripple of red lips and abandon. Now I see only old men, frames weighted down with heavy coats, caning their way through the silence. I ask, sir, can you tell me where the old Monroe's Uptown Club used to stand? As his lips crack into a smile, he plays pool with his eyes to remember the projects, the parking lot, or the supermarket. Others don't even want to talk. Those days is dead and gone, girl. Thinking, ooh, flying around Harlem, midday on March, barren streets, looking for a music played so many years ago. 118th Street. Black men warm their hands to a barrel fire, pull their fedoras further down over their eyes. We circled the block 3 times. Wind cuts the buttons to my coat, and then I see it. On a condemned building, a sign in dead neon. Minton's Playhouse, home of the players. One blink and I see it once again, neon purple liquors and magenta lounges, a night ablaze with life and death and sweet originality, a jump and jangle of sound as Harlem flattens time and space to this one corner.
Nice, Frida. Question before I introduce the next feature. Excuse me, the next open micer. When are you planning for us to go to the garden? May?
Okay, so this is a great question. And like I said, if people want to attend the February get together online, they can reach out to me. But the garden will be planned in March and probably open once it gets warm and it is reorganized. We're going to have paths so people can have their, if they need to come in walkers or if they want to actually join, they can sit up in a chair because we want elders. We want this place to be beloved of elders as well.
Okay.
It's going to be open most likely in May.
Okay.
Okay. That was a long
I'll be
answer.
there. Thank you.
All right.
Next to the mic, where are you, Cynthia?
I'm right here.
Please.
Hi. Okay.
Hi.
Hi, y'all. A bunch of folks I haven't seen in years because I haven't been back to New York. All right. Okay, so here's a poem for my brother. It's called How We Mishandled Your Alzheimer's. Speaking of Alzheimer's, I forgot to remember how kind you always were to me. And speaking of Alzheimer's, is it even possible that you would ever in your life have remembered to get strawberries for the shortcake on Mother's Day? A required prompt answer to authority was always your best catalyst for a shrug and a flipped bird. And speaking of short-sightedness, how did I stay afloat on that topsy-turvy river of denial for so long as you tried so hard to make me see, shuttered out the truth of your traitor brain turning its back on you, told me the truth while you could still see it? I explained it away to myself. To be fair, you were always great at letting a little too much slide. And speaking of denial, with all the love and brilliance of you, brother, and me, sister, how could I mistake the growing ghoul who suddenly started sobbing, the growling ghoul who suddenly started sobbing, for a whole working version of my brother? I thought you were being so dramatic. I got reliably irritated at your mind failing, as if you wanted to disappoint and dismay. And speaking of mistakes, what shy and gentle man genius would not try to hide all the usual fog of a bumbling professor if he could? I thought, what the fuck is wrong with him was a rhetorical question.
Wow. That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Next on the list, where are you, Yasmin? You're next, baby. Hi, Aki.
Hey.
Your name's on the list too. I just put your name on our open mic list, girl. You know how I am.
I have to find something. I was just sitting
I know.
just sitting here like, let me go find something. Let me go look for something.
I'll give you time,
All right.
but your name is down. That's it.
Okay. All right.
Are you ready, Yasmin? Please.
I don't see her up here unless she's going under a TCL or something name.
I don't see her either.
There are a couple
think-
of computers
may have
that are
lost her.
not named.
I know those the ones that are not named is Ed Toney's sisters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But Ed Toney is on somebody.
I know, I saw it.
Yeah.
I see you, Ed.
I know.
Cynthia,
That's
that
why
was
I didn't catch you
beautiful.
at first, Ed, because it's like, wait, he changed his name.
He changed his name. Yeah, he went down south and he got all fancy.
Where's the cake? Where's the cake? Sebastian.
Sebastian's got cake, that's for sure.
No, I don't see Yasmin. I think she may have dropped out.
Yeah, there's something with the tech. Y'all know that.
Yeah.
There's always something with the tech, but don't worry, AI's gonna save us.
Oh, sure, you're right. Mm-hmm.
So could
Oh, I
I
better-
could I go next?
Yes, baby. Please.
Okay. This is a work in progress. It's something I've been thinking about for a while and finally have started doing it. It's called Jack's Last Words. My beautiful baby, writing down my last words. These are Jack's words on day 2 of his hospice, December 31st, 2016. He's been in the hospital for almost a month by then, has recently gotten the diagnosis of multiple myeloma with amyloidosis after going in as a cardiology patient, and has had 1 round of treatment. But complications keep piling up. He says, I'm in one place I don't want to be, waiting to go to another place I don't want to be, waiting for the ambulance to take me to therapy for I don't even remember what I have. So he stopped treatment, and I started to write down what he said to try to keep the reality of him intact. Here's what he said. I can't do it anymore. I don't care. This person was saying blah, 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 and I said, I don't care. I just want it to be over. Everything is piling up. The cancer, the aneurysm, everything looks so completely hopeless. I don't want to be poked at. I just want it to be over. People are always hovering around. I thought it would be a fairly brief time. When you realize everything you do is for somebody else, your legs are small, you stand up great. What had to stop was me standing up so someone else would be pleased, eating so someone else would be pleased. I started dreading the next meal. It was too much dreading. If you do this, then this. If you do that, then that. And then what? Nothing. This is the temporal world. When you lose the connection between who you are and who you were when you were born, then you know it's over. Our daughter who's there makes a joke, then apologizes because she thinks it's tasteless. He says, no, baby. If you can't stand by my deathbed cracking jokes, I have failed you. If you can't make fucking jokes at my bedside, what can you do? I don't want my continuing sense of humor to mean that I care about tomorrow. I wish this was a movie so I could just wish it away. I thought of myself as a character in a Right to Die movie. The irony of a boy from Kansas gasping, choking out his life in the gleaming TK million dollar building of the Langone NYU Medical Center. I think it's like he's writing his own obituary. Don't ask Clyde Haberman to get my obituary in the New York Times. I am the most important person. I love them even if in my heart of hearts, I think they're jerks. Then they took me to the ICU and started whipping me around. I thought they were persecuting me, tossing me around. It just felt like punishment. Talking about a colonoscopy. I don't want it. You'd be astonished how many little factions there are. Some nice woman says, your blood work looks better, so tell that to John. I tell him not to worry. He says, worry is not Jack. I am the target of some sort of political crusade. Somebody here has responsibility for it by persecuting me to show they know what a fuck I am. 4 squares of 4 dots, sometimes in a circle. That's all life is. I say, life is what you make it. He says, it was for me for a long time, and then life got all fucked up. Every now and then, just now, there was a very tall man looming over me. He went away when I blinked my eyes, the cowardly motherfucker. I say, don't worry about me. He says, don't worry about me worrying about you. I say, your story will become my story. Is that okay? He nods and smiles. He says, no regrets. Don't be sorry about anything. On the last day, I wrote in my journal, I thought we'd said our last words. We've said, I love you many times. We've kissed. If this were a movie, the director would say, cut. If a play, the curtain would come down. If a novel, it would be the end, or a new chapter would start. But in the land of this is real, it just goes on and on until it stops. Thank you.
Wow. Beautiful. Wow.
That was pretty amazing. Thank you so much.
Yes, I agree.
Thank you.
So, John, do we continue with the open mic, or do you introduce our second feature?
Why don't we introduce our next feature?
Yes, I agree.
That was amazing, Sonia, by the way.
Yes, indeed.
Me too. Those are all his words.
Yeah. So the next feature is a member of the Creative Expressions NYC team. She's one of the people behind the scenes that helps all of this to come to be. And she's been doing this for quite a while. She is an amazing writer, an outstanding singer. Her name is Angela Brown. She's a native New Yorker whose rhythmic roots are the jazz, R&B, and rap sounds that filled her Harlem home. Many of those beats and rhymes have also influenced her poetic style. An alumna of the Watering Hole, Angela has performed at open mics and readings throughout New York City, from the Nuyorican Poets Cafe to the New York Poetry Festival. When possible, she brings her love of poetry and singing to work as an elementary school teacher. Please welcome Angela Brown.
Hi, thank you, John. All right. as usual, the open mic has been wonderful. We had a great feature so far with Jill. So I'm gonna follow up with some poems and I'll end with a song. Don't have a lot of tech on my end, so it'll just be a cappella, but y'all can rock with me. Also note, I might have to answer the door at some point, so forgive me if I have to pause. But let me get started. The first poem, excuse me, is based on a workshop prompt about being in the present and also thinking of Afrofuturism. So I'm thinking, Black history. We're talking about it's Black History Month, and a lot of poems might be about history, or that's what we're thinking of. And I also have a few pieces that are looking towards the future. So one of the prompts in a workshop that I went to was about what grounds you, what inspires you in the present. And I wrote this in October of last year, October into November. Early November nudged a faint ache of fear into a searing realness. Some were struck by the presence of dancing, humor, music, and joy. We always carved out joy, even if the markings looked like primitive grasp at making meaning or frivolous pastimes beheld by othering eyes. What grounds you? On another continent, by way of another continent, techniques were carried on sea foam and cramped taut limbs longing to stretch from beyond the hulls of ships. The way capoeira looked like mere horseplay, but was communal and release and preparation and defense and grace and rhythm, agile in its unassuming style to othering eyes. What grounds you? Fast forward to 2025. The only boots on the ground for some of us were the cowboy kind that accompanied the flick of folding fans, the sound of them falling open like the sharp swoop of mighty wings. The boots were stomping in patterns of grapevines, two steps, and points and pivots, and the bend of joyful knees and arc of hips. All in sync. What grounds you? Sounds are acoustic guitars and drum machines. The percussive clap of palms. Playful and serious in their precision, rejoice. Of course we see what's happening. Hear the noise of breaking news, of bureaucratic bodies at a standstill, preventable shutdowns, shifting blame. We shift our weight in many ways. The weight of our fears does not prevent our play. That's that. And while I reference boots on the ground, unfortunately, I never actually learned the dance. I just admired it from the sideline. So shout out to all the line dancers, if you know what I mean. The next one is from another workshop. This one was years ago, about rituals and routines that rituals and routines. And I chose to do ones that bring joy. The smell of black tea with lemon. Pitcher of tea in the windowsill, waiting for the sun. Green tea with ice. On Sundays, sideways step along the wooden pews, a pause to smile, peace be with you, or simply peace. Possibly, how have you been? A wave and mouthing greetings across the room before the bells and organ notes nudge us back to prayer. Rituals. A review to remember, to laugh alone on my couch at photo albums where Mom and I used to watch sitcoms, corny dramas, and soap operas. A careful look at black and white poses, photos so fragile of lingering memories. So those are some rituals and routines. Next, this one is pretty short. when was that? In December, there was an article Kevin Young wrote about how to read a poem, and this is inspired by that. How to read a poem. With caution, undoing each crease of craft, wrapping paper almost too pretty to rip, or head first and hungrily, searching for meaning, for feeling, savoring style, or a surprising turn. How to read a poem. Repeatedly, a sense of knowing and wonder. Words now familiar, but understood differently as you change around the poem. Let's see. Oh, the next one. Oh, yeah. The next one is called, oh, I don't know if I like that title. Hold on. Okay, no title. What happens to a Mecca in the margins? This is not a small spot in the city. In the pre-smartphone era, a fold-out Manhattan map would help me when I used to roam. Somehow the layout of my lanky borough was supposed to be contained in a page. But the land ends with a blunt cut at 96th Street, 110th in more generous versions. Okay, but where I'm from, where I stay, I can't locate, though I know I'm here, I know I'm real. But no hope for parts north of Central Park. What happens when you don't make it onto the map? This is not a small spot in the city. My other roots of my mother's folks, 166 square miles. Sometimes the 8-letter name looms larger than the island's outline itself. Depending on the size of the map, Barbados' shape might be a dot. But the label remains, at least, proof of existence. Harlem, on the other hand, is implied. An uptown somewhere in the negative space. This is not an afterthought or a gaping timeline telling of farmland transformed into urban blight. A map design tells a story, drawn to scale, what becomes centered, what's left out. In between the tick marks measured, the articles published, the policies approved, I know certain Harlem bus routes and train lines like the path of scars on my calf, like the curves of my cheekbones. This, my home, is not a small mark or an unassuming space, still uncharted. I wore that little fold-out map until it was in shreds. Now we have our smartphones, but I have my little paper map back in the day. And from there, oh, that's not going. Back to the Afrofuturism. Let me see. This one. Oh no, I had a mark. Okay, one moment. Oh, here we go. So the question was, looking forward to a future world, what elements of home would you reinvent or transform? So I have a list and then I have a poem. Public transportation, fare $1, seniors and students 50 cents. Harlem is affordable with a capital A. Folks hold each other accountable, mutual aid. Neighbors protect you, which involves a little bit of being in your business. Safe block parties and street fairs. What were known as gangs are urban guilds that lead back to school drives and walk folks home from dark subway stops. They step to front lines, too, if intruders dare interfere. Food pantries and daily soup kitchens every 5 blocks. Bodegas have food co-ops, and yes, they still have cats. Community centers have funding for after-school and field trips. Every school is in its own building, with up-to-date books, computers, and never lack supplies. Politicians serve the people more than their pockets, and all votes are counted. So with that in mind, here's my Afrofuture Harlem World 3092. The Harlem Tram, or the H, fare $1, stems from the hub of 125th Street, Metno, known back in the 21st century as Metro North, and spreads both east and west. Metno is also the region surrounding the hub. No one sleeps in the streets or subways, not because they're swept out by flashlights and boots and bellows, but because they all have homes. Housing is guaranteed. Harlem is nice now, but not for the reasons people proclaimed back in the 1990s to 2000s. You can still find folks posted up on corners. They keep us safe, though. Secretive daps and handshakes. Thick knots of clean cash in their pockets. Yes, they run our food co-ops and pantries in the shelves of liquor stores. They protect us without rhetoric or necessary roughness. No profiles. Case-by-case basis, restorative justice, no jump starts at the siren sounds. That's my future Harlem.
From your words to God's ears.
Right? You can only hope. I will have one more historical poem, and then I'll end with a song. Okay, which book is it in? So thinking about how nowadays there is an effort to erase parts of history, to rewrite parts of history. Again, in the Afrofuturism theme, we were supposed to write the origin story of something. So I'm thinking of how to rewrite, how to reimagine the history of something to empower and not to erase. So this is the origin of school. Since in certain ways, the origin of at least public schooling was, yes, to educate, but also to make compliant workers, not necessarily critical thinkers, at least in the beginning. So my idea of the origin of school. The origin of school welcomes energy. The origin of school was a precocious kid. An only child with stories stashed in her dreams and stuffed animal dialogues by day. The purpose of school was to nurture the sparks of energy, the interests, the challenges, the curiosity, the questions, the abstract, the exploring, including navigating boredom. The methods of school were inquiry, exploration indoors and outdoors, encouragement, play, mindset that learning comes from growth, comes from effort, correct and incorrect answers, comes from moments of being stuck, from trial and error, and more error, from rough drafts and awkward starts, restarts, pauses, and pivots. And to end, I wrote this song, I don't know how many years ago, more than 5 years ago, in my mind to like a roots reggae type of beat. And it's called Stars. And as I was trying to add on to it recently, I wanted to look up the definition of stars, or where do stars come from? How do stars form? Where's my thing? So, John, can you share the screen with the lyrics?
I don't have it, Angela.
Okay, let me see.
Sorry.
That's okay. I'm not sure. I'm on my phone, so I'm not sure if I can share it. Share the document. but I have it here. I'll read it here. I asked the question, how is a star formed? And Wikipedia said, star formation happens in interstellar molecular clouds, opaque clumps of very cold gas and dust. The process starts when some of those clumps reach a critical mass, allowing them to collapse under their own gravity. And even though I had already written this song, and you'll hear what I mean by stars, that line about reaching a critical mass and collapsing under its own gravity just made me think of these times and like reaching a critical mass as far as wanting to make change and things collapsing under its own gravity. That could be a poem in itself. But on to the song. So like I said, this is a cappella and it is called Stars. Despite scars from our past, we strive for justice. Hard to deal with a system if you don't trust it. But it's so crucial to try to defy and stay dignified. Don't just get by. Stay determined even if you're disgusted. 'Cause it's faith that brought us through this far and showed us how strong we truly are. Faith that brought us through this far and showed us that we are truly stars. Abundant light, despite despair disrupting our sight, it's worth the fight. Many ways to work together and make it right. Abundant light, despite despair disrupting our sight, it's worth the fight. Many ways to work together and make it right. It's faith that brought us through this far and shown us how strong we truly are. Faith that brought us through this far and showed us that we are truly stars. Thank you.
Oh.
Yeah. So
I didn't
yes,
want
I
that
will
to end. I
end the
didn't want
plan.
it to end.
I'll work on another verse, but that's what I have for now.
Lovely.
So thank
The
you.
lyrics are great. Yes.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
I had to pause
Yes.
for a minute
Hey,
because I
Kim.
was
Gorgeous. Loved it.
beautiful, Angela. I had to pause for a minute because I
As
wanted to give
always.
my love reaction.
Thank you.
That was
I've
wonderful.
missed that. I've missed that, Angela. I really missed that.
Gorgeous.
I was hoping you were going to sing. That was
Yes, me
beautiful.
too. Me too.
And
I don't think I've ever sang that one, so I was kind of nervous, but thank you.
Yeah, I like that you brought up Afrofuturism, which kind of starts because it's like how they tried to write black people out of the past, even though we were here. They tried to have a future where black people are not in it, and they write scientific things about what's going to happen in the future. So black people wrote their own. They wrote
Right.
themselves into the future.
Yes, we got to tell our own story, even if
Right.
it's the story hasn't
Yeah.
happened yet. We gotta make it happen.
That we will be there.
Yes.
So at this point, I think MPK, what we'll do, I know that Heather and has something with Martin Luther King that you want to
Right.
share with us.
And we have on our open mic list Kim Brandon, myself included, Aki, definitely Amber, and Jacqueline. So
Okay.
what should we do? Should we just
So we'll
do
just let
all,
I want to hear
and
Ed
Demetrius
Toney.
Daniel.
Brian. We have Ed. Ed is definitely still
And is our
on.
last feature. And
That's
are we
right.
still gonna try to do the are we still gonna try to do the group poem?
So
Sure.
yeah, why don't we do this? Well, just we won't pause for it, but if you can just give the prompt, and then we'll continue on, and people can think about what they're going to write from that prompt as we continue on with the different poets that will come up. Does that sound okay?
Okay,
Okay.
that's fine with me.
Okay. So Heather,
We're back to the open mic list.
so we're going to give the group
The group
poem,
prompt, yes, first.
and then we'll go back to the open mic list.
Okay, let me
Okay.
see. I'm ready for that.
Are you going to be able to share his speech, or?
I do have it
haven't-
up. I can share it.
Yes,
do
please.
you
So
want the
take
entire-
it, go to the last about 33.37.
Can you, let me just make this one request. Put a hashtag in front of the line that you write for the group poem, so we know what it's for, and I will compile them together and read it at the end of our meeting. Okay, go ahead.
Keep feeling the need for being important. Keep feeling the need for being first. But I want you to be first in love. I want you to be first in moral excellence. I want you to be first in generosity. That is what I want you to do. And he transformed the situation by giving a new definition of greatness. And you know how he said it? He said, now, brethren, I can't give you greatness. And really, I can't make you first. This is what Jesus said to James and John. You must earn it. True greatness comes not by favoritism, but by fitness. And the right hand and the left are not mine to give. They belong to those who are prepared. And so Jesus gave us a new norm of greatness. If you want to be important, wonderful. If you want to be recognized, wonderful. If you want to be great, wonderful. But recognize that he who is greatest among you shall be your servant. That's a new definition of greatness. And this morning, the thing that I like about it, by giving that definition of greatness, it means that everybody can be great. Because everybody can serve. Every now and then, I guess we all think realistically about that day when we will be victimized with what is life's final common denominator. That's something we call death. We all think about it, and every now and then I think about my own death, and I think about my own funeral, and I don't think of it in a morbid sense. Every now and then I ask myself, what is it that I would want said? And I leave the word to you this morning. If any of you are around when I have to meet my day, I don't want a long funeral. And if you get somebody to deliver the eulogy, tell them not to talk too long. Every now and then I wonder what I want them to say. Tell them not to mention that I have a Nobel Peace Prize. That isn't important. Tell them not to mention that I have 300 or 400 other awards. That's not important. Tell them not to mention where I went to school. I'd like somebody to mention that day that Martin Luther King Jr. tried to give his life serving others. I'd like for somebody to say that day that Martin Luther King Jr. tried to love somebody. I want you to say that day that I tried to be right on the war question. I want you to be able to say that day that I did try to feed the hungry. I want you to be able to say that day that I did try in my life to clothe those who were naked. I want you to say on that day that I did try in my life to visit those who were in prison. I want you to say that I tried to love and serve humanity. Yes, if you want to say that I was a drum major, say that I was a drum major for justice. Say that I was a drum major for peace. I was a drum major for righteousness. And all of the other shallow things will not matter. I won't have any money to leave behind. I won't have the fine and luxurious things of life to leave behind. But I just want to leave a committed life behind. And that's all I want to say. If I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can cheer somebody with a word of song, if I can show somebody he's traveling wrong, then my living will not be in vain. If I can do my duty as a Christian, or if I can bring salvation to a world once wrought, if I can spread the message as the Master taught, then my living will not be in vain. Yes, Jesus, I want to be on your right or your left side, not for any selfish reason. I want to be on your right or your left side, not in terms of some political kingdom or ambition, but I just want to be there in love and in justice and in truth.
So if you could give the prompt again of what you would like people to do.
Sonia, is that who you're asking?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Just state the prompt again, what it is they're supposed to write.
Write a line that speaks to you of what he spoke of that day in his sermon.
And to put a hashtag before it so Sonia knows.
Right.
Okay. All right. So while you're thinking about that, maybe we can go to our open mic. If we have a few people left. And
most definitely.
Okay.
Next on the mic, where are you, Aki?
Here I am. You want me?
Definitely.
Okay. I have something short, and it's something that's very timely because it's about the weather. So this poem is called Perfect Snow, February 7th, 2004. Perfect snow falls on Harlem, dense as grits, glides down 7th Avenue, smothering the rah-rah. Pookie and them inside eating ice cream. Perfect, quiet, ice chips whipped thin, trees twisting them into perfect dreamwear. We lick snow from off the windowsill, dreaming warm reds before it all melts down the gutter.
That. I like that.
Thank you.
You.
Nice and short. For cold weather.
Let me see down. Who I haven't heard read in a very long time is my sweetheart. Amber, you're next. Thank you.
Hello. I was just getting my dinner together.
What you cook? What you cook, girl? What you cook?
Take a swallow.
I didn't cook, but I've got some butternut squash soup. I've got some salad. I've got some roasted chicken.
Sounds
Trying
like
to
a
be
dinner
healthy.
to
That
me.
sounds good. Squash is good.
Yes, good
I
stuff.
could
If it
jump
was
on a bus and be there in
asparagus, I
20
would
minutes.
have to say yuck. Sorry, guys.
I could
Okay,
be there.
so
I
I'm
could,
actually,
Go ahead.
Never mind. I just said I could be there in 20 minutes for the squash. Never mind.
Okay, so I'm going to read a poem by Terrence Hayes for Black History Month called We Should Make a Documentary About Spades. We should make a documentary about spades. And here is all we'll need: a card deck, quartets of sun people of the sort found in Black college dormitories, some vintage music, indiscriminate spirits, fried chicken, and paper, a writing utensil, and a bottomless Saturday. We should explore the origins of a derogatory word like spade, as well as the word for feeling alone in polite company, and also the implications of calling someone who is not your brother or sister, brother or sister. So little is known of our past, we can imagine damn near anything. When I say maybe slaves held spade tournaments on the anti-cruise ships bound for the colonies, you say when our ancestors were cooped on those ships, they were not yet slaves. Our groundbreaking film should begin with a low-lit den in the deep South and the deep, fried voice of somebody's Nana holding smoke in her mouth as she says, "The two of diamonds trumps the two of spades in my house." At some point, someone should tell the story where Jesus and the devil are spade partners, traveling the juke joints of the 1930s. We could interview my uncle Junie, and definitely your skinny cousin Mary, and any Black man sitting at a card table wearing shades. Who do you suppose would win if Booker T and MLK were matched against Du Bois and Malcolm X in a game of spades? You say, don't talk across the table. Pay attention to the suits being played. The object of the game is to communicate invisibly with your teammate. I should concentrate. Do you suppose we are here because we are lonely in some acute diasporified way? This should be explored in our film about spades, because it is one of the ways I am still learning what it is to be Black. Tonight, I am ready to master spades. 4 players bid a number of books. Each team adds the bids of the 2 partners, and the total is the number of books that team must try to win. Is that not right? This is a game that tests the boundary between mathematics and magic. If you ask me, a bid must be intuitive, like the itchiness of your upper lip before you sip strange whiskey. My mother did not drink, which is how I knew something was wrong with her. But she held a dry spot at the table when couples came to play. It's a scene from my history, but this probably should not be mentioned in our documentary about spades. Renege is akin to the word for the shame you feel watching someone else's humiliation. Slapping a card down must be as dramatic as hitting the face of a drum with your palm, not hitting the face of a drum with a drumstick. You say there may be the sort of outrage induced by liquor, trash talk, and poor strategy, but it will fade the way a watermark left on a table by a cold glass fades. I suspect winning this sort of game makes you feel godly. I'm good and ready for whoever we're playing against tonight. I am trying to imagine our enemy. I know you are not my enemy. You say there are no enemies in spades. Spades is a game our enemies do not play.
Yes. Thank you. I love that game, y'all. I love that game. My husband taught me how to play it, and I'm hooked. And haven't played it in many years. But we got next, let me see. Where are you, Kim?
Yippee.
Yes.
Okay. Hi everybody. Thank you for this. I'm putting something in the chat to help you a little bit with the poem. And the poem is called The B-Side of America. When raising a little brown girl, bright eyes full of wonder and promise. Let me see if I can move this. Wrapping and unwrapping herself in the flag, an eager mind about to make her way through the self-evident truths. Do not tell her that love in this country is a rare bird, because unless she goes hunting for it, she will settle for leftovers, the thinned, half broken, half twisted braid of love for man and country. You don't tell her that the B-side of America, don't tell her about it at all. Oh, no, not yet. As America will play the third verse of the Star-Spangled Banner in her ear as a lullaby. In the in a repeating loop, just loud enough to trip like untied shoes. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? She may search for low hung declarations, strange fruits, seeds of southern trees, maps that lead to back doors and cleaning kitchen floors and toilets. It is your words, your examples, your audacious wings, your fire retardant spirit that halts. Your spirit halts the B-side. When among the rotting tropes of America, with eyes closed, she will feel with bold fingers. She will feel for that rare spirit that is honey baked black power. And come to know that she is the rare bird of love. She will come to know that it is her. She is not the B-side, she is the A-side of America. And when her eyes are open, she will know that she carries the home of the brave between her blooming bosoms. Thank you.
That was amazing, Kim.
Thank you.
So why don't we go to our final feature, and then we'll go back to the open mic. I know Ed has
Okay.
his sisters here. There's a lot of people who have come to hear him read.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll go to Ed Toney, who I met. Ed used to be Juice MC Creative Expressions when it was in Harlem. And that's where I first met him. Um, he's an amazing poet. Um, so Ed Toney, poet, writer, chemist, born in Queens, New York, resides in Chesapeake, Virginia. Ed seriously begun his poetry writing in 2001, attending the Luis Reyes Rivera workshops. One of his mentors at Sisters Place in Brooklyn. In fall of 2004 and throughout several years, he had incomparable experiences in workshops with Kavi Khanum. I also took workshops with them. Amazing group. Ed has featured and read at numerous poetry venues throughout the boroughs of New York, rallies for Mumia, Eric Garner, a benefit for Michael Brown, Black Lives Matter, Speak Out forums, the Calypso Muse, the Glitter Pomegranate Reading Series. Ed was host of Open Expressions in Harlem, facilitated workshops, and featured for Women in Bloom Writers Salon. Blue Door Gallery appeared in the New York Poetry Festival in 2014 with Soul Sisters Review and was their host for many years. He was a member of the Hot Poets Collective poetry writers group. Ed has work published in African Voices 20th Anniversary magazine, the chapbook of Fire of Iron, published by Hot Poets Collective, featured essay in Young Men's Perspective magazine, with poems published in Mosaic magazine, Blue Lyra Review, Summer Edition 2015, recently published in The Great Weather for Media anthology entitled The Careless Embrace of the Bone Shaker, published in the Brooklyn Poets Anthology at the Crossroads, One Breath Rising Anthology of Poetry and Prose, and in the fall of 2022, Arts by the People Platform Review. Ed is refurbishing and re-editing his first poetry manuscript entitled Nicks in the Tongue. He's under the name of Sebastian Todd tonight, but I don't know if that's an alias, but we all know this is an amazing poet and an amazing person. Please welcome Ed Toney.
So let me start by saying I am so grateful and I thank you all so much, Heather, MTK, Marilyn, and Angela and John for inviting me to do this to start off a great month of Black History Month. And I'm emphasizing that with everything going on in the world now in the United States, I'm going to really take this month very serious and really pushing our history out. And I'm going to challenge everybody that's here tonight, put on your Facebook pages. We've been posting our disgrace and everything that's going on in the United States. But let's push where we come from, what we've done in this country, what we've done for America, and just push it out there. You know, force it down these naysayers' throats, the race of people that we are, and what democracy is supposed to really stand for and be about. That's all. I'm just going to get into my poem before I do a big soapbox thing here. So let's just get into some words. I've been working on that manuscript for a very long time. I pushed it aside, but this is the title of it, In the Nicks of the Tongue. There is Black folk fantasy, fables with non-happy endings, stories of death and the linger of precious life in the nicks of the tongue. Peacocks, vultures, crows, skin and bullets, a stench of truth, the perfume slicked oil of lies in the nicks of the tongue. I can scale the walls, I can swim in quicksand, battle the mamba, I can spit its venom, witness and hide in the nicks of the tongue. She dances, she bathes, she sleeps, she dreams of my teeth, my foreplay bite, and buries her orgasms in the nicks of the tongue. Sanctuary of fallen angels, a cocoon of moths, tattered white wings, and those red pointy devil tails lie in the nicks of the tongue. Sex, hunger, and sustenance, hard-ons, climaxes, 150 proof age saliva, all that sin lies in the nicks of the tongue. There are gospel songs, East Coast rap, salt from street slang, daddy's fingernail dirt, my mama's suburban blues, all my burning memories lie in the nicks of the tongue. Southern blood, northern water, racism, and redneck sweet tea, chitlins, hot sauce, collards, ham hocks, and cuss words, all stewing in the nicks of the tongue. There are pages of songs, prayers of repentance, my ancestors' whispers, the black off my beige bones, Nana's Bible, and the shards of my soul deep, very deep, very deep in the nicks of my tongue. Born. I think my ink broke. What a mess. There's black all over. It smells like jungle, like Brooklyn, like stereotypes, the pain, the adjectives, the vowels that slur down south, that sugary like sweet tea, consonants pungent like fresh pulled unwashed chitlins, raw souths. Oh my God, the contractions, the metaphors, the imagery, black barbed wires, cocoa butter smooth, sepia brown rolling hills. Push, push, push them hips. Wine, gal, wind them into stanzas. Eastern Parkway them, reggae them, soca them, blunt them down. Wait, push, push, push some more, black boy. Is that catfish swirling and yellow cornmeal? Is that hot grease? Did you hear your mama yell? 'Cause them street lights just came on? Who's your daddy? Where's your daddy? What the fuck you gonna name that boy? Who's gonna pay your rent? This is gonna read like a deer in headlights, the high beams, but this ain't death, this is birth. Who gonna pay the rent? A seeing eye test is needed. Read those numbers off that badge. Start young, because you might not ever see the alphabet, or you might not be able to spell J, U, S, T, I, C, E. Push, push, push some more, because this has potential to be a sonnet, or maybe spoken word, or something Shakespeare. I think I see the head. Push, push some more. Go ahead, Doc. Slap its ass. See if it speaks Ebonics or Swahili or some proper slave master European language. They may not get it. They may not get it, but it's been born. This poem, it's been born. Somebody sure blew up America. Yes, you did, Leroy. Of course you did, Imamu Amir. Blow this mother up. Expose what's under her American haute couture dress, jiggling her fat gut. Her dirty underwear holds no secrets. Turn her over on her back. Watch this fat, out-of-shape bitch called the United States. Roll, roll, roll her big ass over. Over? Over? Like overcome? Are we still trying? Are they still killing? Are they still lying? Going to take all your examples, follow your word-filled weapons, ingest those bullets in our intestines, point blank, shoot them in our conscience, expose our souls on brand new paper, set our mouths back on fire, and make sure she bruises and not ever heals, or purposely turn her back without the truths you told, the blood stains of your work left in our hearts, held in our palms, as your words and poems shave those silver slick tongues like swinging pendulums from the caves of liars, those backyard assassins, homegrown terrorists, down yonder noose marauders, chameleon game playing politicians, because we mourn and we mourn. We're going to set off these poems like nuclear explosions and really poetically nuke up America, just that much more, with all the sustenance that you left behind. We're going to blow it up again and again for our truths, for our freedom, for our justice, just like you did, Amiri Baraka, just like you did, Amiri Baraka. They? Who are they? We write about they. Do you know them? Why, they are the ones that surely know you, the ones of no birth, no mothers, no God, no limbs, hearts, or brains, but they seem to control the world. They are the ones that go bump in the night. They make people scared, make you act out of will. They have no race, no gender, no religion or history, but you constantly refer to them in your thoughts, in your actions. They tell you how to eat, how to vote, when to scream, how to pray, not to pray, when to sin, when to die. They know who your enemies are and who you should hate and who you should love and how long you should love or hate them. They have no identity, no value, no respect for others, but you value their existence, acknowledge their presence. They are not of this world, but we are alien to them. Are they terrorists? Are they geniuses? Are they scientists? Are they blue collar workers? Are they apparitions? Are they prophets? They are the us of no hope, no faith, no trust, the we that give up, the reflection in the mirror that we don't want to see. They are the lie they chose to live. They are the prisoners inside their ancestors that only wanted freedom for themselves. Okay, I was thinking about regrouping and doing something a little lighter, but I changed my mind. Um, Thank you for the Martin Luther King prompt. And it was so funny because this next poem I'm reading came from a speech I heard pretty similar to that one when he talked about uh, his death. In any case, no one taught me how to die. I figure clouds know when to hide, stars refuse to know their names, and the eclipse was just a big hint. I figure my will shall fade when my age, heart, and spirit become the riddles I refuse to solve. I figure Jesus lied about how much I could bear. Easter is his reminder, and our sins continue to overwhelm him. I figure suicide is way too easy and voids the questions and answers we cry and sustain through. I figure hell is really the earth we all persevere in, and heaven is the poem no one will ever attempt to write. I figure my mama was really an angel that God told all the human secrets to, and she could never share them. I figure her womb was the home I yet to find again, and if I do, mama will be living there. I figure heaven is now, and I'm just too conscious, too angry, too busy, and too ignorant to realize it. I figure everything I feel and see is the imagination social media implanted in my brain. I figure one day I will sleep forever because I just don't want the struggle of me anymore. I figure if I don't vote this time in the world, it will be the revelation it's intended to be. I figure everyone I know will be like cartoons I love the most. They will never be forgotten, not like the breaths I don't remember. Because I figure it's all been the failures and victories of my deepest thoughts. I just don't truly know what to expect anymore. Because with all the education I've had, no one taught me how to die. Okay, this is my last piece I'm going to read tonight, and it's called An August Sun. Many times, especially down south, the August sun burns more red into the rednecks. It does not carry the same heat that burns large white Baptist crosses at the stroke of midnight, and those charred black splinters hurl themselves into the sad eyes of a starry sky. Can't you smell the rot, the death of our history, the resurrection of nigger blood and Nazi gases, slain Cherokees and Cheyenne? And the August sun shines in the window as the wife uses the burning flat iron to press raw starch, white sheets, and hoods. The August sun had no idea it burns the same hue as the devil's eyes, thought racism would become extinct Yet it outlives the Bones, it outruns Jesse Owens, it outscores Wilt Chamberlain and Michael Jordan, it outweighs James Baldwin and all those great poets, John Oliver Killings. It even outruns Obama. It outlives the fears, the ignorance, and the bloodlines of the great great grand wizards and the great great grand dragons. The August suns burns more notches into the Bible Belt and shines bright during protest marches, riots in the day, and those black boys shot in the back, running with their hands raised high, surrendering to injustice. The August sun can burn anytime during the year, even now, even right now in February. Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all. I really appreciate being here. Thank you.
Love you, Ed.
Love you, Ed. Miss you.
Love you, Ed. We miss you.
New York
Miss your
misses
voice,
you.
your post,
Excellent.
everything.
Yeah.
Wonderful work, Ed. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Bravo, bravo. Snaps to Ed. Yes.
Hey, you're all mellow down south.
Woo.
Woo.
Thank you. Thank you.
Lord have mercy.
I miss New York. I really miss New York. I miss all of you
Miss you,
so
Ed.
much. So good to see all your
Stop in
faces.
a lot. Stop in a lot. Let us see you at least.
Yeah, I plan to do some traveling this summer. Definitely plan to get up there.
See you
Definitely.
when you
Thank you
come
so
up.
much for coming.
Thank
I
you
know
for
it's
inviting me.
hectic your way, but thanks.
Thank you all.
You need a YouTube channel, Ed. We miss you.
Yes.
So a little bit after 7, and it was well worth going overtime. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so
So
much.
we don't have any time left for the last 3 poets on the open mic list.
So we are
We can
back.
continue.
So if you have to leave, no one's going to be offended. But yeah, we do. I mean, if we have 3 more people to go,
Yes.
if you can
Have to
stay,
leave. Try
please stay
to
with us.
put your line for the group poem on the chat with the hashtag sign if you must leave before. Otherwise, we'll stay to the bitter end.
Okay. Jacqueline, you leaving? Sorry, you have to leave because I was getting ready to put you on the open mic. Please. Just a little one. If
I
you
will
can.
read.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. So this poem is titled Conversation, and it has an epigraph from Robin Cost Lewis. Isn't it always the citizen who does the work of the nation? He said, given the statistics, I may only have a few years because he is a Black man in America. There is so much more that one could say, but it all factors down to this. His father and his father's father and my father and my father's father all wavered at this age. When we are together, there is always music playing. The air is laced with rose and sage, and the lighting is soft. I want to galvanize his will to be triumphant, to prove the skeptics wrong. He needs to heal, to thrive. There are rising tides all over this world, and I know this man can float. With me, without me, I breathe in the promise of his peace, breathe out the toxins of this land's worst mistakes. He is a Black man in America, our national treasure during this holy reign of ellipses, a relentless racing heartbeat in the wobble of the night. Too many of his friends fall silent or holler those words no man wants to hear. My pancreas, my prostate, a heart attack, a stroke. And he goes to their bedsides as they fight the good fight before they're released to home hospice with their nurses, their wives, the women who will hold them up in prayer and rail against the ravages that threaten our survival. He says he wants a partner now. He says it is that time. Another friend has died, a cousin, a colleague, a classmate, now two. Every night we spend apart, I lie awake and say his name. He is a Black man in America, so tender, so strong. He sends out a text when he boards his plane and closes the gap once he lands. Today, he is safe wherever he is, tossing one back and laughing.
Oh, thank you. Oh,
thank you.
Y'all can see me. I'm sorry. Thank you. Meech, where are you? Demetrius Daniel. You're next.
All right, good. All right, get going. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. It's great. How you doing, Marilyn? How you doing, Ed? Great to see you. Great to see you as usual. Amber, everybody else, Frida, see you there. So I'm gonna do one of my signature pieces here, and it's apropos, definitely for today, the 1st of February. How can you hear me pretty good? I don't know how the sound is coming across, right? So
yes, we can hear you.
all right. So, and it's just simply entitled, Is 1 Month Enough? Is 1 month enough? 400 years sure was rough, but we'll never ever give up. So ask the question, is 1 month enough? 28 days, sometimes 29, cold, frigid wintertime. Ask yourself the question. It's not a simple suggestion. Hey, is 1 month enough? Is 1 month enough to lie face down in a musty, stank slave ship, shackled in chains, covered in blood and feces, just to get to the so-called New World? That'll take you for a twirl. Is 1 month enough to pick 100 bales of cotton on 40 acres of land with one mule in the hot, hot South Carolina sun? That might not sound like fun. Is 1 month enough to get hit in the head, have blackouts, take hundreds, perhaps thousands on a railroad underground, chased by news-bearing overseers and bloodthirsty hounds? That might get you down. Is 1 month enough for one woman to get on one bus and take one seat? Some say she had tired feet, so hundreds, perhaps thousands can walk to work. That's reserved. Is 1 month enough to mourn one small boy found dead in one big river and years later justice never delivered? That might make you shiver. Is 1 month enough to realize that Billy's fruit will always remain strange? Or maybe you're deranged, it's time for a change. Is 1 month enough to die first in a revolutionary war? But what was Crispus Attucks really fighting for? Is 1 month enough to ask what happens to a dream deferred? Like Langston said, let America be America. Haven't you heard? Is 1 month enough to realize there's no progress without struggle? And you know what, Frederick Douglass said it because life and his skin color, he no longer wanted to juggle. Is 1 month enough to be a true sojourner? And like she said, I should be treated equally and fairly like any other human wage earner. Is 1 month enough to run faster than Hitler's speeches? Because that's the real lesson that Jesse teaches. Is 1 month enough for the dukes, queens, counts, and godfathers of soul? If you listen carefully, they might make you whole. Is 1 month enough for books about X's, purple colors, and even those deep-seated roots? And if you listen and maybe if we read carefully, there'll be no more racial disputes. Is 1 month enough to realize a revolution will not be televised? And like Gil Scott Heron said, it's going to happen right before your eyes. Is 1 month enough to realize by any means necessary means by any means necessary? And if you're a racist, you should be wary. But is 1 month enough to reach the mountaintop? No matter if any bullets pop, you know we'll never, ever stop. One month enough. Thank you.
Thank you. It's good seeing you.
Good to see you, Barely. Good to see you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, I'm the last on the open mic list. So question, you want something funny or you want me to be angry? First off,
your choice. Thank you, everybody.
First off, happy, y'all got it. Happy Black History Month. Valentine's Day is coming. Happy Valentine's Day. So, I was thinking something funny too, Kim. So, are you ready? It's called The Catnip Mystery. Here's a true story for you all. How I, MTK, been acting up and out to lunch. And still out to lunch with the story that I'm getting ready to share with all of y'all. My grandson, he gave me a little kitty cat. His name is Santana. So my cousin, Linda, said, Marilyn, I'm going to bring you some catnip for Santana. I said, okay, cuz I'm not sure how it works, but bring it. So this particular day, I started looking for this catnip and I couldn't find it anywhere. So me, being the crazy South Bronx person I am, and a lunatic elder, thought, could I have smoked the catnip? Since I have been smoking weed since the age of 18. So I told my daughter and my cousin Linda, I really think that I smoked the catnip. They both looked at me and started laughing. They're used to how I think. So I kept on looking and kept on looking and kept on looking and kept on looking, and I couldn't find it anywhere. So I had a doctor's appointment and I went into my drawers to get my things together. Oops. Santana's catnip was in that drawer. Do you know how I felt? So crazy MTK, you didn't smoke the catnip. It was really the weed that you were smoking. Go sit your crazy ass down. And I did. That's all I got for y'all. And it is a true story.
So it must have been real weed for you not to know that wasn't catnip instead.
And the bottle that my cousin gave it to me in had clearly written on it Santana's weed. And I thought I smoked it.
Would you have been able to tell the difference? Would you been able to tell the difference, MTK?
No, I made them look up on the internet, what does catnip do to human beings?
Yeah.
And my cousin said, relax, because all it's going to do is make you sleep. So I'm thinking, oh my
Wow.
God, I've been sleepy. No, you're an elder. All elderly people go to sleep.
Yeah.
Thank you, MTK.
That was fantastic.
That was fantastic. Absolutely. So I guess we're going to go to the group poem that we did. In the meantime, if you're not on the Creative Expression email list, if you want to just put your email in the chat, and then we'll put, and if you would like to be, we'll put you on the list. So I guess I'll give it over to Heather and Sonia for the group poem.
Yes. Sonia, are you with us still?
You're muted, Sonia?
Am I muted? No, I'm not muted.
No, Sonia, you're muted.
Now I'm okay. Now. Removed the silencer from my mouth. Okay. Yes, I have. We got a lot of really good lines. Put them together. So shall I read it now?
Yes.
Okay. Christ, rock me in the east or west of your right hand tonight. I'm scared. What new world blooms from our choices? Not cannons nor bombs. As we serve, we no longer care about being out front, for service is always needed at the back. Every drop of blood in the ocean of humanity, in the history of the stars, in the weight of gravity that holds us until we collapse like stars into the black holes of governance, will be resurrected instantly in the moment when love expresses the service, not of self, but of all, like sun and rain, raining unto us all.
Amen.
That he learned and taught others, knowing Gandhi's way. No need to mention that love decimates cruelty like water softens the rock. Love warrior, a bit unhinged, yet so focused. Consistent, genuine truth works because humble strength leaves its mark. Always hold faith that one's efforts do touch others, both known and unknown to you. Let them say love was in hands more than my mouth, pledged to live a life worthy of God's honor. In spite of evils that may be present, the arc must continue to bend to the feet of justice.
Ooh, wow.
Yay.
Yeah.
Power. All of us. Yay.
Oh, that's lovely. My goodness.
Yay.
Fantastic. That was really good.
Wow, that
Fantastic.
was classy.
That
My
was
goodness.
Gorgeous.
I'm
Gorgeous.
putting it
Yes.
in the chat. So if you save the chat, you will have it.
Great idea.
Yes, yes.
And maybe you can add it to the video in some way.
I will.
Yes, and maybe it can go on our Facebook page. I don't know if Angela still has time to do that, but if she could put it up on our Facebook page,
I'll
that would be
email it
nice.
to John and to Angela.
Huh? Angela.
Yeah. Okay.
That was amazing.
Wonderful. Thank you. This has been a lovely night.
What a
I know we've gone over
beautiful-
time, but that's because the spirit was moving.
That's right. That's right.
You can't stop the spirit.
Thank you all for being here. This has been, as Heather just said, a lovely, powerful night.
Good way to start February.
Yay.
I know Black History Month
Yes.
is made proud by what we did tonight. And hopefully the Valentine's Day will also be beautiful tonight, or beautiful this month.
Hope so.
Mhm.
Hope so.
Yeah. Thank you.
Lovely.
Thank you. Thank everybody. Thank you all.
Can
So
I just
good
make
to
a quick
see. So
announcement?
good to
Yeah.
see everybody. So good to see you all.
Yeah.
Good seeing you.
Good seeing you, Ed.
It's
I
too
put a
long,
flyer.
too long. It's been too long, Ed, but
Yeah.
we're glad you're here. You
Let
take
Kim
what you can
speak.
get.
Yeah. Kim,
I
you have
put a flyer in the chat. In 2 weeks from today, Demetrius and I and Hollis King are having a Black History Month program. And hit me up on my email and I'll send you all the details and an updated flyer with
Is
the
it
details.
online?
It's hybrid, so
It's
it's
in
in the
person?
room and it's on Zoom.
Oh, okay.
great.
Okay. That's
Great.
good.
And Demetrius is gonna blow y'all, so y'all gotta come through.
Most
Okay.
definitely.
And once again, in Maryland knows how I do. It's great to see. I saw
Yep.
Kim is here. It's great. It's great. Yeah. So let me do anything. But thank you, everybody. Come out in Hollis. I know it's great. That's going to be a great show. Hollis is making music.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us tonight.